Welcome to Post Game from the Pound. Masvita Mara Ere and Lars Hansen of
The Dog Report.
That's right. And if you've seen this movie before, because you can see it every Thursday, okay? But yeah, Seattle Sports Weekly, right? But this is the post game from the Pound, as I said, with Lars Hansen. All right, Lars. So there you go. The Huskies win overtime, 31-24.
Yeah, nail biter at the end. Cal made it really interesting in the second half. Washington offense got out to a quick and early start, but really seemed to struggle in the third quarter and the fourth quarter to get any momentum going. It seemed like it was kind of 3 and out. The offense was sputtering a bit. Cal was able to get back in the game, and the defense won at the end.
To your point, it was 21-10 at halftime. UW was up. What happened in the third and fourth quarter? What did you see?
A lot was more or less kind of a combination of Chase Garbers, the Cal quarterback, having success against the defense, forcing them to stay on the field longer, and when the offense came on the field, they weren't able to do anything and get in a rhythm. So it was kind of like almost like a sandwich effect of the defense staying on the field, offense not able to get in a rhythm, Cal, and then it was firing on all cylinders in the second half, and then Washington really kind of almost out of nowhere had to come up with an offense in the overtime game, because in the overtime, it seemed like the lights turned on again.
Which is, you talked about this, about the whole offensive play calling, but what did Cal do?
A lot of it was designed runs by Chase Garbers.
Sure.
And that was, I think, one thing that Jimmy Lake mentioned in the postgame was that he said they'd focused on that all week, and yet he was still able to run for 10 to 15 almost every time he wanted to. And sometimes he would have a little delayed kind of read the defense for about a half a second or two and then take off, and the holes were always there. And I think that was really interesting in the second half for a combination of reasons, some injuries, some missed assignments, and Cal executing better than UW, honestly, that the offense and the Cal offense really started to get going in the second half through Chase Garbers' legs, and then he came through with the arm at the end. And so I think his legs set up his arm.
Okay, fair enough. Well said. So you feel good about feel good, it's a win, or are you more saying, ooh, they got lucky?
I think at the end of the game in the fourth quarter, it's what we expected, that it was going to be about a touchdown game, and I think ultimately for Washington, you have to get the win. There was no way you couldn't lose to Cal again.
You almost did.
And you almost did.
I mean, if it wasn't for that hit right here, right?
The hit by Cam Williams, the safety, the forced fumble.
Absolutely.
And even Kyler Gordon at the one on the other side, really kind of making everything go. There's a lot of plays that this game could have got a lot different. The ultimate thing, like I said, you get the win. That's what Jimmy Lake and Washington had to do. You had to get the win. Dylan Morris doesn't throw an interception. You get a fumble in the second half. That also kind of slowed Washington's momentum on offense. But again, the man, Sean McGrew, was able to come through in the game.
What did you see from Sean McGrew in terms of the Wildcat?
Well, and Jimmy Lake mentioned it again post-game. He's slippery, he's smooth, he's a small guy, no bigger than me really in reality in terms of his height. But he's crafty, he's got vision, almost like Myles Gaskin, where he can see the field, he knows how to hesitate, he knows he's not the biggest guy. But you don't have to be the biggest guy to run the smartest. And that's what Sean did as a Wildcat, because when you get the ball, direct snap out of the Wildcat, you see the field a lot easier. Your options, Giles Jackson coming across. There's so many things that he could do. We haven't seen Sean throw. Maybe we can next week.
And he said he wanted to throw that in the post game.
And he's got a decent arm in practice. You know, he hasn't played a ton of it.
But he'd have to take off the gloves. It was, I mean, like, if I'm the defense. But I'll give credit to John Donovan. I don't know if you saw this, but in the first half going this way, when they did run they ran McGrew from the backfield, and I was like, he's kind of tiptoeing, and they gave him the ball. What I'm saying is, I give them credit for sticking with that, because really they were setting him up for the Wildcat.
Yeah.
So that's actually innovative play calling and being consistent, and it paid off.
And also, when you run the Wildcat, again, I keep harping on Jimmy Lake in postgame, what he mentioned, it allows you to do so many different things. So instead of running a power eye set and you still have Sean as your back,
right
now Sean is able to, the blocking lanes are different, it's opening up a little more, and you have pre-snap motion with Giles Jackson coming across the middle. So now you can see, okay, are we in man, are we in zone, what are we doing? And everything is set up for Sean to know exactly where to go with the ball.
And you said this day one, but he's probably, and I think you just might have said about 2 minutes ago, but he's probably the best at reading the creases and all of that and making the adjustments, like you said, like Myles Gaskin.
Sean McGrew is probably the most complete back at Washington. in terms of his vision, his ability to stop, start, find the hole, hit the hole, and do it himself out of the Wildcat. We haven't seen a lot of guys. Only Miles Gaskin really has had success out of the Wildcat. It takes a lot to run that position to be a running back in Washington, and Sean he's worked his way back up the ladder, and hopefully, he had 2 touchdowns again tonight. He had 2 touchdowns against Arkansas State. The first time in his career he's had 2 touchdowns in consecutive games. You would think Jimmy Lake will get him the ball more again. We'll see how that goes.
Hopefully, I want to see my guy. I want to see the Sunday on a Saturday. I want Javon.
To your point, he was suited today. He was suited today.
I'm telling you all right now, but I think he'd be a compliment. But he's not, like you said, he's suited, and he's got to work himself out. Those are stable and all in due time. So that's a wrap, because next week we're going to be in where?
Corvallis.
All right. So I don't know. We'll figure out something. We'll do post game from
Reeser Stadium.
We'll call it there. I'm Osfrida Mara Era. He's Lars Hansen of the Dog Report, and I'm of CascadiaSports.net. And this is post game from the Pound.